So now that we've sewn each of our spider web segments to one of our background pieces, we're ready to square this up. So we're going to use our kaleidoscope ruler again, and this time we're going to be using the 90-degree angle side. So you're not going to cut anything off of your bottom. You should have 1/4 of an inch from the edge to the point of your background triangle, and you're going to just set your ruler on this piece, and you're going to keep your edges even with your spider web segments. So you're not going to cut any of the spider web triangles. You're just going to be cutting your background piece here. So layer up the edges of the ruler with the edges of your segments. And now we're going to just cut along both sides of the 90-degree angle so we don't have this extra. So I'm going to take my rotary cutter. I'm just going to cut one side, and I'm going to cut the other side. And now the shape of my segment is a perfect triangle, where we started with kind of a strange shape. So all of your segments will be this exact size with the angle 90 degrees, and you're going to have 4 of these segments for each block. You're going to need 4 of these segments to sew your block together. So we're going to start with 2, and I'm going to position these right sides together. So where I have background fabric, my yellow fabric is going to be on top of each other, and at this point I am going to pin the intersection where those yellow meet, and then also my edges. So if there's any discrepancies here, you may need to just pin those and ease them together, because at this point these edges are on the bias. So I've got these pinned. Your edges here are even, and then I have it pinned at the yellow and then also at the corner. And I'm going to take my 1/4 of an inch seam, and I'm going to make sure to take my pins out and not sew over those. And if there's any fullness between your pins, you're just going to ease that in. So when I open that up, I have half of my block with my yellow segments here, and then my spider web pieces coming out from each other. And so these aren't going to match up. They're cut different widths, they're from different pieces, different strip sets, so these aren't going to necessarily match up here. And you're going to press this, so you're going to press all of your half blocks, so this would be a half block. You've got 2 of your segments sewn together for half of it, and you're going to press those all going the same direction. That way, this seam here will nest in our next step. So now I have 2 halves of my block here, and I'm ready to sew these together to make a whole block. And what I'm going to see when I sew these together is I'm going to have a star in the middle. So you're not going to see the spider web come together yet. You're going to have an alternate block with a star. And so these 2 halves are going to be put right sides together. And I'm just going to nest those center seams, and I'll put a pin in that. And I'm also going to pin each of my ends. And like in the previous step, you can see in this top strip is a little bit, has more fullness than the one on the bottom. So I'm just going to ease that in. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom side. So I'm going to sew all the way down this edge and keep those even. So again, with my 1/4 inch foot, I'm making these perfect 1/4 inch seams. Keep those edges even and ease in any fullness that you may have. So when we finish, our block will be a square. And so you can see the star in the middle, and then these portions on the corners are going to be part of our spider web. So we're going to press this seam going in either direction, and I'm going to show you how this all gets put together. So once you have all of your blocks complete, now you're ready to sew those into rows, and that's what's going to form the spider web of your spider web quilt. So I have 4 blocks put together here, and you can see the spider web in the center form. And once you get your quilt together, it looks really cool because you'll have a lot of full spider webs. And on the sides and in the corners, you're going to have sections. So it's going to lend itself to a lot of really amazing quilting. And I'd like to show you some of the products that I used for this quilt. We have completely quilted exclusive patterns to make this spiderwebs quilt, and we also have kits available with fabric from Tulip Hink's Parisville collection. I hope you like this spiderweb video, and please leave me any comments or suggestions and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Nancy from Completely Quilted. You can visit us on our website, www.completelyquilted.com, or visit us in Ponca City, Oklahoma. Our store hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturdays from 10 to 4.